Hello everybody, Stoic here, and I'm feeling retrospective.
Today, I'm looking back at Star Wars Dark Forces. Dark Forces is the first in the Jedi Knight series of games which follows the mercenary Kyle Katarn, and was released in 1995 for DOS and Macintosh, then for PlayStation in 1996. Other notable games released in 1995 included Rayman, Yoshi's Island, Chrono Trigger, and the third installment of the Mortal Kombat franchise. Those are some pretty darn good games that have a good fan base, even today. So, how does Dark Forces hold up? Well, here's the lowdown on the story. You play Kyle Katarn, one-time Imperial officer turned mercenary for the Rebellion. The game starts off tying things into the movie A New Hope. Kyle's the one who stole the original Death Star plan so they could be given to Leia at the beginning of the first film. But that's kind of where it stops. The next mission jumps to some time after the end of the first movie. The Death Star is destroyed and the Empire is hunting the Rebellion. After a Rebellion base is attacked, Kyle investigates and it leads to the discovery of the Empire's Dark Trooper project, which he then has to stop. The game is basically Kyle systematically destroying resources for the project and ultimately stopping it. Though it's amazing he didn't destroy the planets too! Look at that explosion! Speaking of explosions, let's take a look at the graphics. Yeah, not very impressive when compared to those other games I mentioned, but it's not really meant to be like those games. More like this. Doom. Being only 2 years removed from the release of Doom, it's pretty easy to see the similarities between the two games. Dark Forces is a little smoother, and it does a decent job at cutscenes as well, except for Flappy Lips here. The weapons look solid, and some have some pretty cool explosion effects that change things up. The way the levels look isn't going to blow you away, but they hold up alright. Their design, on the other hand, there are plenty of times when you have no idea where to go next, literally no direction on where to go. Sometimes the only way to tell there's a door is to check the map, but there's one level that seems to pride itself on having small corridors that you only find if you hug the walls, and the map is no help with them unless you walk right by them. Then there are times you see a potential jump that you aren't sure you can make, and you're just as unsure if it even goes anywhere. This leads me to the platforming of the game. Horrible! This has been the bane for many first-person shooters. It can be pretty difficult to judge a jump from first person. It doesn't help when you can't even see your feet either. I can think of at least one recent example. What makes it so much worse is how Katarn handles in the game. There are times when he suddenly decides to slide like Katarn on ice, even though there are actual ice physics in one level of this game. Then there's the sprint. He is crazy fast. Usain Bolt would have a tough time keeping pace with this guy, but sometimes you need a sprint in order to make certain jumps, and that makes it really difficult to get the timing for a jump when you've got 4 feet of platform and instantly accelerate to 20 miles per hour. But I digress. Most of the enemies are nothing too difficult. Kel dragons are scary but are easy enough to simply strafe around the whole time. The worst are the Dianaga, as I affectionately call them, poop monsters. You may recognize these creepy tentacle bastards. In Dark Forces, they love to pop up right next to you and help you add to their poop-infested waters. And you'd think if you got on higher ground that they couldn't hurt you. Nope. Right. Oh my god! I'm out of the water! Come on! Well, let's talk about music. No, there is music, but really I hardly remember anything about it. What I do remember is your typical Star Wars themed music with some minor tweaks here or there. Often it doesn't really even grasp the environment or situation you find yourself in, and it definitely isn't going to win any awards.
Overall, the game is solid enough. It could have been a fun little distraction for a little while back in the day. However, nowadays it's not likely to get much attention from anyone except those of us who are nostalgic for the series as a whole. And this is kind of the black sheep of the bunch. I'm sorry to say I won't be enjoying this one again anytime soon.
I think that's the Death Star. Wait, did you? Oh, okay. Oh.